So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by clicking on the PayPal link in the description box, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Also, leave us a thumbs up. It helps us get more views.
He'd never seen the actual Madam President Newsweek that I finally got in the mail a few weeks ago that I've been making a big deal out of, because it is. It has how she won, where she won, why she won, how horrible Trump was, how she was going to govern. Here's photos of her on election night winning. They're fake photos. I mean, the whole thing is just an example, a roadmap to total deception. Here's the talking point that they've got on CNN, MSNBC, all the comedy shows, all the newspapers, and Fox News. I was just watching Fox News 2 minutes ago during the break, and they had this panel of women on there, and they were all saying, well, he's underwater now with his base. He's losing his base. It's a good thing he's out there speaking at town halls and things, because Trump's really unpopular. You know, he's the most unpopular president ever. They might as well say his approval rating's 0. Just like they did during the campaign. They said that Hillary was 15 to 20 points ahead. And Hillary was supposedly ahead of Bernie Sanders. And so she lost all those primaries, and they just gave his delegates to her, the super delegates. And the Republicans said, we're going to give the delegates to other Republicans. We're going to give them to Ted Cruz. And the Republican base said, no, you're not. And so you went to their campaign events, and you went to the town halls, and you told them you better stop it. Soros is trying to fund AstroTurf, fake grassroots all over the country, to go out and stir up trouble, spew racist garbage, get in non-neocon, non-rhino Republicans' faces. And that's what they're doing. They are running around the country, getting in patriots' faces, trying to intimidate us, and they're totally synthetic. They're totally false grassroots, and we know that. And all over the world, countries are recognizing that George Soros is trying to overthrow their nations. It's just a fact. And these criminals have gotten away with so much for so long that they believe that they are invincible. They want to bring the entire Western world down so they can bring in their replacement, which is total tyranny. Much was made yesterday in the fun 2 hours I had with Milo Yiannopoulos in studio. He'd never seen the actual Madam President Newsweek that I finally got in the mail a few weeks ago that I've been making a big deal out of, because it is. It has how she won, where she won, why she won, how horrible Trump was, how she was going to govern. Here's photos of her on election night winning. They're fake photos. I mean, the whole thing is just an example, a roadmap to total deception and their disdain for you. So just remember that. They know there's a political realignment in this country, and they're selling the hoax that Trump has lost his base, just like they did during the campaign, just like they did once he was president-elect, just like they tried to stop the electors from being seated, telling you that there's an indictment coming, and there's a grand jury coming, that there's an impeachment coming, and that Trump's going to be removed suddenly from office. There's going to be a coup in the next month or two. They're trying to get you ready, and they're trying to get your support for him dented ahead of them busting a cap in his butt, or drugging him, or saying he had a stroke, or detonating a car bomb outside the White House. Let me tell you something. When they make their move on Trump, they're going to make it on everybody. Look at Steve Watson's article up on Infowars.com. Newsweek cover depicts Trump as lazy boy. Quote, imagine how bad he'd feel if he did any work. And it goes on to say he's demoralized, he's depressed, so that you then, by extension, feel depressed. They're trying to tell you your leader is on the edge of collapse. Your icon, your figurehead is about to give up, and he's a lazy slob that never did anything in his life. And so, lay down, GI. You're never going to see your sweetheart again. This is Tokyo Rose broadcasting from Tokyo, letting all the U.S. sailors and all the Marines and all the soldiers at sea to know you're never going to come home and see your sweetheart. Japan has won World War II. America failed, according to Newsweek, according to Baghdad Bob. Remember what happened last week? They had the article that got all the big praise in National Review, the Rhino, Neocon, Never Trump, failure losers with tiny subscription-based, dwindling, absolute nobodies, legends in their own minds, the mice that roar, the mice that thought they could scare away the elephants. And what does it say there? He hasn't gotten one piece of legislation through. He's lazy. He's failed at everything in his life. He's actually succeeded almost everywhere and is a dark horse candidate that came back to drive a stake through the heart of globalism against all the odds and the deep state and Hollywood and MSM and the EU and the Saudis and the communist Chinese and all these foreign governments. But they're telling you, you didn't win the election. The Russians did. They're trying to demoralize you. And then they have one thing that's true on that cover of Time. No major legislation because the Republicans and Democrats are blocking him from the tax cuts for the middle class and poor, blocking him from getting Apple that has itself close to $300 billion in unpaid taxes, forcing them to bring it back. Trillions, $4 trillion offshore conservatively, $4 trillion back into the stock market, 400+ billion in new jobs, 1 million new jobs in just the last 6 months, most of them factory jobs, high-paying jobs, on and on and on, 69% reduction in illegals coming in. But meanwhile, senators unveil 2 bipartisan bills to stop Trump from firing Mueller. You see? Bipartisan, the neocons, the Republican establishment that gave you Obamacare, they want that there. They want the big insurance companies to be able to control the market and charge you whatever they want and make the biggest profits ever. And they've got the drooling idiot Democrats going along with it, and they don't want Trump taking that off your back. And so they got Mueller, the incredibly corrupt, evil former FBI director that took Muslims off the radical list and did all this other garbage and covered up for the Clintons. They're getting ready to keep him in there as the new 4th branch of government that you never elected, but is their champion because they're pissed off because they tried to steal the election. They had the fake polls. They did it all. They stole the nomination. They worked so hard to give you Madam President, that incredibly corrupt lady, totally blackmailed by all these different sides, the whore of Babylon, the Jezebel. They wanted in there to help finish America off, and boy, they didn't get what they wanted. So now they're fighting as hard as they can.
If you're interested to learn how to create content and spread content, we'll show you how. Go to the Operation How YouTube channel, click on the About button, and then click Message. Send us an email. If you want to engage, become an info warrior, we will train you up.
If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon below the video to get notified when the latest new content drops.
Keep us in your prayers. We get a lot of resistance for putting these videos out, but to Yahweh be the glory.